Do you want to be part owner in a casino in the Metaverse? Let's check out the project that's doing just that. Let's have a look at the gambling apes. First up, I want to say if you could hit the like button, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, there's chapters down below so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to see to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice, I'm not a financial planner. Please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. So when we jump over onto the website, the Gambling Apes, the website seems pretty standard, and you can also see that the theme is gambling with Vegas. And then coming down to the specs, you get a 7,777 profile picture project, but it does have some utility built in. Now I believe this is the main utility when it comes to this NFT. Own a gambling ape and become a casino owner. Now this is really cool because even if you're not into gambling, you can become the owner, and as you know, the house always wins, so this might be a good way to have some residual income in the future. Now other utilities to the NFT are weekly competitions, they've got betting picks, parties, merchandise, and then some physical collectibles. Now I think the parties are quite good, and we jump into this when we get to the social media. And then when it comes to the sports and betting picks, that can actually be quite good because if you've got a team of people behind it looking for great odds and good deals, you can actually kind of make some money also betting on the side. Now scrolling down the website, you've got a white paper. If you actually head over to the white paper, they've actually detailed what they're actually doing. Now this is very good, and it's also signed by the founder. You can actually jump over and have a read of the white paper, but the fact that they've got a white paper there, it shows that they are dedicated and keen to actually fulfilling this project, and they're not just kind of putting up a show. And then scrolling down, we've got the team here, and they've also got their social media links here, so you can actually go check them out, follow them, and engage with them. Now I think that's very good, especially when someone wants to put in their LinkedIn. That shows that they're very dedicated to the project. One thing I would have liked to have seen is that all of these photos to look the same. When it comes from a marketing aspect, it would have been nice to have a photographer take a photo of all of them so we kind of end up with something that's more uniform, because when you have a project with people with aliases and they're just using the profile pictures, it looks a little bit cleaner. You're not seeing the people's faces, but it does look a little bit cleaner. When you look at this, they're just different types of headshots. This guy in the top right, it doesn't even look like a headshot, and then you've kind of got the profile picture as well. So it would have been nice if they did that. This isn't a deal breaker, and this is just from a marketing aspect and a visual aspect. Jumping over onto their Twitter, they've got 15,000 followers. Now what I think is really good about their Twitter is they're putting up content that's very memeable, they're engaging with the community, retweeting with the community, and they're also showing off some of the benefits of holding a gambling ape, like the Las Vegas meetup. Heading on over to their Discord, we can get a snapshot of the project. We've got 3,600 owners with a floor price of pretty much 0.5, so half an ETH. And then here is an idea of what some of the art actually looks like. Now we'll jump in real quick and say that this is my subjective opinion, but I don't really like this art style. But saying that, there is a high utility to this project, but it's just one of those things where I wouldn't just buy this project just for the art because it doesn't resonate with me. But like I said, art is subjective. And then if we have a look at the buy now, we can see that it's 0.5, 0.5. So if someone was to come in and buy up 20 or 30 of these, the floor would increase to a 0.55 quite fast. So the floor could rise quite fast if a lot of buyers do come in. Now let's head over to Nansen and check out the statistics. Deployed 26 days ago, the Gambling Apes, you can see the huge volume at the start, a little bit of a dip, volume's gone up again. And what you can see here is that the average price has just climbed up and then gone up to the 0.86, down, up, down, and now it looks like it's kind of floating and hitting a bit of a support at the 0.5 mark, but this is the average price. Now over on the right, we can see here that the average price did go up, but the average price is kind of sitting quite flat. Now, what I do find interesting about this is that the minimum price, even though it is quite jagged and going up and down, it is still increasing, apart from this drop here, but it is still increasing. And what I'm noticing is the maximum price, these huge fluctuations are starting to be reduced, and we're ending up with a convergence of price, which to me signals that it looks like we're going to get some stability within pricing because the rare ones are being held and then some of the paper hands have let go. And then down on the individual transactions, we can see here that there was a notable buyer towards the start. We can see that these fluctuations where these high prices and these very low prices are starting to even out, and this is where that convergence is kind of coming towards with a price. And then when it comes to transactions and buyers, the public sale quite large, and then it has dropped down, but this isn't too bad. It looks like they're adding between 50 and 100 unique buyers a day. When we jump over and have a look at the top balances, we can see here that buttheadtv.eth is in number 1. He's got almost 150, then we drop down to 128, then we steeply get to the 50s, 30s, and then the 20s. If we actually scroll along and just see where it kind of tapers off, we quickly get down to the 6 and 5 mark. And then scrolling down and having a look at the top balances over time, we can see here that all of the top balances are just accumulating more. There is only one that hasn't followed this path, but overall, if the top balances are collecting and holding, it looks like they're holding on for the longer term. Now, having a look at the unique addresses and how long people are holding onto the NFTs, we can see here that about 95% of the NFTs and 95% of the addresses have held between 7 and 30 days, which indicates that there are buyers that are holding longer term, which is nice to see in a project. It shows good support in the project. Then we can also see that the unique addresses are slowly climbing as well. So I feel like we'll hit an equilibrium where there won't be many sellers, and then anyone that buys is going to come in and that floor will just rise. Looking at the percentage holding only one NFT, we can also see that that's rising. The way that I see this is that people that are holding sort of maybe 2 or 3 are selling them and offloading them to a person that's holding 1. So essentially we're getting one person that holds 2 and they're selling to another person that's holding 1, and we're kind of ending up with a better distribution, but very slowly. And then scrolling down to the profit leaderboard, we've got the top spot at 78, then we've got 67, then it sharply goes down to 40, 30, 25, and then we kind of get to the under 10s. And then if we scroll down and have a look at the recent transactions, we can see here 26 minutes ago, hour, 2, 5, 10. So what this looks like is that if the Gambling Apes holders didn't actually sell, that price floor could increase 0.05 ETH quite easily in a day with the current volume that we have and the prices that they're currently listed at. So overall, what do I think of Gambling Apes? I really like the utility of this and the idea that you're going to be a co-owner in a casino and share in the profits. I'm not too much of a fan of the art, but art is subjective. The part I really like though is that they're actually executing on their roadmap, and you can see here that here are the photos from the Vegas meetup. They're actually doing what they say they're going to do, which really builds trust and confidence in the team. So when they say that they're going to do something, they're most likely going to follow through with it and actually do it. So will I buy a Gambling Ape? No, I won't. This doesn't mean that the project isn't good. I just think it's appropriately priced. And as you can see, the price floor could rise quite fast. And the way that I like to think about it is that 0.5 ETH is a good 8 to 10 new projects that you could invest in that could get a greater return faster. I do like the concept, and when they open the casino, I will visit and have a roll of the dice, but I feel like at the current price point, it's not for me. I think anyone that's holding onto these, it's a good hold. I also think another aspect is the fact that I don't live in the US. If I lived in the US, on the West Coast and I was able to go to Vegas and actually kind of participate in these things, I feel like I'd get more use out of them. But for me, I wouldn't be able to easily take advantage of the parties. And I'm not saying that that's a waste, but I'm saying like that's something that I feel like I'd be missing out on. So overall, those are my thoughts on Gambling Apes. I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please like up the video. If there's a project you'd like me to check out, drop a comment below and I'll get around to it. As always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.